Ladies and gentlemen, we have in our midst the police lawyer, SP Justice Atta Esquire, the OC Legal State CID. Please put your hands together for him. Please, we have in their numbers the learned magistrates. So, your worships, good morning and welcome. We welcome you. Put your hands together, Imejenga.
Of course, you know, in recent time, because of the Japa philosophy, so many guys who are supposed to be medical doctors are converting to nurses because they want to travel abroad. And there's this statement that nurses are paid higher than doctors in the overseas. Well, it depends on your medical field as a doctor. If you're a veterinary doctor, it's a different ballgame. Because even those who don't go to school, they inject animals, depending on the orientation given to them. As a secondary school student, if you belong to science department, about 10, 20, 30 years ago, what will be running in your mind is you want to be a medical doctor. If you're in arts, you will say you want to be a lawyer. If you're in commercial, you say you want to be a banker. But while we are growing up, and because of the nature of leadership, so many things have changed. So, but I think in all these three professions that are highly respected, one has remained constantly unchanged in the minds of people, and that is legal profession. So if you're a lawyer, please put your hands together for yourself. The reason is this. If you say you want to be a banker, recently some of the new generation banks employ ND students who didn't even study banking and finance or accounting, but those who studied business administration and poor badmin. The same thing is applicable to medical sciences. Now, what is trending is my son wants to study tech. My son wants to do artificial intelligence or data analysis or virtual reality, augmented reality, and so on and so forth. But in the arts, once you're a lawyer, it's important that you know why you are going there. But if you don't have the mental capacity to study law, it's not a must you go and study law. Because I wonder why some people would go to law school, they write exam, they fail. Next year they go, they write exam, they fail. For almost 7 times, they will continue to fail. Why don't you join another profession? It's not a must to become a lawyer. It's simple. You could be logical, growing your farm. So it's not a must to become a lawyer. It's not by force. Look at the man that is going to give us lecture today. If you Google him, you read about him, you will ask yourself, how old is this man that is able to achieve all these milestone achievements, both in publication, both in practice, and so on and so forth. I'm aware that he was called to bar December 7, 1985. I'm sure if you look at your back where we have our youth, none of them was born in 1985. Am I right? So the man has already been called to bar before any of you was born. Okwezioku. Thank you. So between 1985, 2025, that is 4 decades, 40 years practicing law. Saying, my Lord, I put it to you that the guy didn't steal the handset. Lawyers are doing well, especially if you're a good lawyer. Ladies and gentlemen, let me recognize specially former Registrar, Customary Court of Appeal, and Secretary, Enugu State Registrar's team, Reform Team, I beg your pardon, Ikenga, Tom, Anyafulude. Please, can you put your hands together for him? Welcome, sir. Inwelilu Ikenga. Yes. Nga asụ nke a n'Igbo. Ịma na enwe level ị ga-practice law luo. Ma na-ekpuzi ihe a ndị lawyer na-ekpu n'isi. Ka ife a na-akwe. Wig. Nke ha na-etinyekwe n'ebe a, ka ha na-akwe.
Onu.
Asụsụ Igbo bụ onu n'English.
Cola.
Okay, without cola nuts. Okay. So, on the young lawyers na-eyi the team, na ndị anọ na tebụl a, agwaghị ndị ha tụgoro nga through legal profession, a man and their lord na this game. If I hear you hold the team, why you will suit. Welcome, sir. Welcome. Let me recognize specially, wow, wife of the former deputy governor of Anambra State and currently the Secretary General of Ohaneze Ndigbo worldwide, Mrs. Clara Emeka Sibodo. Kedebono, please put your hands together for her. Ochinwe Kidela. It is like a medical doctor. Biko Ochinwe Emeka Sibodo. Biko Kebono Yakuloto. And we have kidnapping case in Enugu. Put your hands together for her. She is the CEO of Memos Stores. Welcome, madam. In Ikenoga, it's an among the diamond Sigi Kenea, a celebrity politician and a millionaire MC. Yes. Makeno Kwanebe is this common MC, about common MC, Ejimego, Agolomako. Ezulmuna Hanchanine. Yes. MC is my passion because I started with it. Enayana sutu yifuno London kegolia. So wokezulezu. So also free here for. When I get me this year. Sure. Ladies and gentlemen, let me recognize former Director, Central Bank of Nigeria, Chief Kajetan Epa. Welcome, sir. At the same time, Chief Matthias Ome, PhD, former commissioner in Enugu State, and present chairman, board of directors in Soka Microfinance Limited. Welcome, sir. Welcome, sir.
Ladies and gentlemen, my Lord, the chairman of this August occasion that is going on in the month of June is here. Ladies and gentlemen, help me put your hands together. 1, 2, 3, 4. Honorable Justice C.C. Annie, PhD.
Please, while they're standing, please keep standing. You may stand. Let us recite the national anthem. DJ, get ready. DJ, if you're ready, we are ready. Only the first stanza. Thank you. Please keep standing. Let the man of God lead us in opening prayer.
Please let us pray. Our dear Father in heaven, we thank you for the gathering this morning. We ask for your grace. We ask for your mercies. We ask for your guidance in this section as we formulate policies and thoughts for the betterment of the society. May this grace be entailed to us in this section, even afterwards. In Jesus' mighty name, we pray.
You may be seated. DJ, music. Please, the organizers, present your cola notes. DJ. Okay. Ladies and gentlemen, while we were observing opening prayer, the keynote speaker walked in, a very big fish, one of the lords of the legal jurisprudence. At the right time, we unveil the masquerade. But I want you to know that he was called to bar December 7, 1985, and he established Akariwe and Associates, Lesh Rehoboth Chambers, 1994, author of over 20 Lego books. This is just a tip of iceberg. At the right time, we are going to introduce him. Let me formally welcome the Honorable Commissioner for Agriculture, one of the best performing commissioners, not just in Enugu State, but Federal Republic of Nigeria, Honorable Patrick Uburu. Please appreciate him. Welcome, sir. The Chairman, Planning Committee, please bring the cola notes. Mr. Francis Onyekwere, PhD.
Thank you. If, my professional colleague said he's not this common MCs, so he's uncommon. Please put your hands together for him. Thank you. We have in our midst High Chief Ifeanyi Onufi, the Onowu Akajugo one of Ikega Umulumbe. Shall we put our hands together for him? Onowu will welcome you. We also have Ikechukwu Eze. Ikechukwu Eze will welcome you. Ladies and gentlemen, without wasting much of the scarce time in this August occasion that we're having in the month of June, I think I'll quickly hand the microphone over to the chairman of the occasion, Honorable Justice CC and a PhD. My Lord.
Thank you very much. Did you look at it? All these people have to talk.
Okay. That's right. Thank you.
Thank you. No. Thank you. Chairman, Planning Committee, please come forward. Justice Anne is a woman that understands culture and tradition, even as a successful venture. There's a reason for that. Thank you. Put the color notes to Enugu East Local Government Chairman. So it's between him, present it formally to him. The commissioner is also here. So we present it to the chairman. We give chairman the microphone to interwoven the directive with the commissioner.
Ladies and gentlemen, the Zonal Director, Federal Radio Corporation of Nigeria, Ikechukwu is a PhD, is here. Shall we put our hands together? Okay, we had even welcomed him. The Zonal Director will welcome you, our boss.
Hello, sir. The chairman direct to take it to meet him.
We also have, okay, Ono, who is representing the His Royal Majesty Igwe Chimereze I of Ikega Umulumbe Kingdom. So no, we find you, if you welcome you. And ladies and
Commissioner,
gentlemen, if you scroll down.
Commissioner, the cola gun on your table, okay? Because na cola na ha no beke. O gun on your table, and we chiefs neighbor, then a Juzanding Kanu neighbor. Thank you.
Good morning. Ndị day jenu. Ndị day jenu. Okay. Unu mana asị na ọjị adị anụ oyibo. Nkara ịkọwa obere ihe na bekee. Mana ebe ọ bụ na ọjị adị anụ oyibo. Ebe ọ bụ na ọjị adị anụ oyibo. And anyị nọ na anị Nkanụ. Mụ abụ onye ụzọ ụwa. Onye mkpụrụ ogwu n'ụzọ ụwa. Manga ọjị na anị Nkanụ. Nna m mụmụ ọfụma ama m omenala. And ihe so ọjị karịrị. So biko permit me ka m jụọ ma onwe ya Nkanụ na ebe a ka anyị si na nke a bido. Ọ n'ike. And asị na onye n'ike amagoro na chairman bụ onye n'ike. So I ga-ebugere chairman ọjị aka ọgọ biko. Thank you. Okay, ya welu jenye ọjị no so that nke mana ya ga-aga ọjị. Jenye ọjị. Don't worry.
The chair.
Biko, anyị nabatala ọjị a. Anyị gozie ọjị a. N'aha Jizọs onye nwe anyị.
Thank you.
Tawa ọjị.
A na-akụdụkwa aka ebe a.
Now having broken the cola notes, let us formally go into the participatory section. Chairman, Planning Committee, please step forward to make your speech. Ladies and gentlemen, this man and his team have worked so hard to put up this event. And today, we are here to witness this historic event. Let me invite to the podium Mr. Francis Onyekwere. Please put your hands together for him.
The chairman, ladies and gentlemen, this is a remark. by Dr. Francis Onyekure, Chairman, 2025 Annual Lecture Planning Committee. On behalf of the 2025 Annual Lecture Planning Committee, I warmly welcome you to this significant event. I can almost sense the curiosity on some of our faces. Why is this year's lecture taking place in June instead of the usual October? You know, this lecture usually takes place in October, so I can see the curiosity. The simple answer is, nothing is permanent except change. In adapting to new realities, we reaffirm our commitment to relevance and impact. The Institute of Chartered Mediators and Conciliators, ICMC, has continued to stand at the forefront of promoting peace, harmony, and sustainable conflict resolution within our communities. Each annual lecture serves as a launchpad for the Institute's vision and policy direction for the year. This year, we are privileged to have as our keynote speaker a legal luminary of great repute, a senior advocate of Nigeria, known for his erudition, integrity, and commitment to justice, Ikazo Akariwe, SAN. He will be speaking on the timely and vital theme, mediating commercial disputes in Nigeria, the impact of alternative dispute resolution, ADR, in promoting business stability. Presiding as chairman of the occasion is a distinguished jurist, a pillar of integrity and dedication, the Chief Judge of Enugu State. His presence underscores the importance of this gathering and the institution's support for ADR mechanism in our justice system. While I leave the formal appreciation of our sponsors and partners to the branch executive, allow me to acknowledge the tireless efforts of those who have made this event possible. Our profound gratitude goes to the branch executive committee, especially our indefatigable branch chairman, Dr. S.I.D. Ida, Esquire, the silent mobilizer and community influencer. Is a rare blend of diplomacy and humility, who guided this planning process with wisdom, patience, and unrelenting support. Although I have no legislative power within ICMC, I believe I speak with moral authority when I say, as we bask in the convivial atmosphere of this gathering, let us also engage seriously with the ideas to be shared today. This is more than a ceremonial event. It is a roadmap for peace building, a rendezvous for reconciliation and transformation, a call to action. This lecture is not intended to merely provoke thoughts, but to inspire deliberate and strategic action towards mediation and conciliation tools desperately needed in our society today. Once again, I welcome you all. Please sit back, participate actively, and enjoy the lecture. Thank you. Francis Onyekure, PhD.
Please, you can appreciate him more. It's not easy. He's been under stress, and you know what that means. I'm just informed the Honorable Chief Uche Anioke is representing the President Institute of Chartered Mediators and Conciliators, ICMC Nigeria, Mr. Godwin Omoraka, son. Please put your hands together for him once again. Let me also respectively recognize the presence of the first Deputy President, ICMC Nigeria, Mr. Chukwemeka Eze, PhD. Please appreciate him.
Ladies and gentlemen, my lords, let's also welcome the amazing on the bench, my Lord Honorable Justice E.N. Aluku. Shall we put our hands together for her? The Lord will welcome you.
At this point in time, I want to call the chairman of the occasion. The first time I came in contact with this judicial lord was at the public lecture organized in honor of the former prominent traditional ruler of Nkano land, Igwe Ankoto. This woman was called to make a speech, and in the midst or presence of several professors, she delivered a keynote address that attracted standing ovation. And on that day, I came to understand that there are so many female benchers who are making us proud. This is one of them. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm talking about Justice Anne. Put your hands together for her. Welcome, ma.
Thank you. My Lord, Honorable Justice E.N. Namani, PhD. My Lord, Honorable Justice E.N. Aluku. The Honorable Attorney General of Enugu State, ably represented by Mrs. Okamaka Okej. The Honorable Commissioner for Agriculture, Honorable Patrick Uburu. The keynote speaker of this August event, Ikazo Akariwe, Senior Advocate of Nigeria, the chairman, executives, and members of the Chartered Mediators and Conciliators, the awardees, distinguished members of the High Table, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen. It is with great honor and a deep sense of responsibility that I stand before you today on behalf of the Honorable, the Chief Judge of Enugu State, Honorable Justice A.R. Ozemena, who, though unavoidably absent, has graciously delegated me to represent him as chairman of this occasion. Let me begin by appreciating the Enugu State chapter of the Institute of Chartered Mediators and Conciliators for organizing this annual lecture and award ceremony, a vital platform for intellectual engagement, professional recognition, and the strengthening of dispute resolution mechanisms in our society. The theme of this year's event, Mediating Commercial Disputes in Nigeria, the impact of alternative dispute resolution, ADR, in promoting business stability, could not be more timely or more relevant. In a nation like ours, where litigation can often be time-consuming, costly, and adversarial, the role of ADR, particularly mediation, cannot be overemphasized. The commercial sector thrives on predictability, efficiency, and the assurance of swift conflict resolution. Business relationships must not only be created, they must be sustained. Even in the face of disputes, ADR and mediation in particular offers a path that preserves relationships, protects commercial interests, and ensures continuity in business dealings. The courts, while remaining the final arbiter of disputes, must also support and encourage the integration of ADR mechanisms. Our legal system must increasingly reflect the realities of commerce, where speed, confidentiality, and mutual agreement are of great value. I am proud to say that within the Enugu State Judiciary, we are actively promoting court-connected ADR centers and supporting training for judicial officers in ADR competencies. This is part of a broader commitment to delivering timely and effective justice. Today's lecture is not merely an academic exercise. It's a call to action to lawyers, judges, business leaders, and policymakers to embrace a justice system that serves the need of a dynamic economy. It is also an opportunity to celebrate those who have distinguished themselves in the field of mediation and conciliation. I commend the awardees whose contributions to peace and dispute resolution are being recognized today. May your work continue to inspire others. Let me conclude by reiterating the appreciation of the Honorable, the Chief Judge of Enugu State, to the Institute for this invitation and for the work you continue to do in shaping a more harmonious, just, and prosperous society. I encourage everyone here to reflect on how we can further entrench ADR in our legal and commercial frameworks. Thank you, and I wish us all a productive and enlightening event. May God bless you all. Thank you.
Waloyaka. Thank you. Thank you. You can see she never disappoints. Articulate, intelligent, and very cohesive. I cite the wife of my big friend, man that is doing well in the society, Justice Aluku. No, please appreciate her. Appreciate her. When you are doing well and your husband is doing well, it becomes a double honor. Yes, you're welcome. Ladies and gentlemen, at this point in time, I will call to make his speech a highly respectable politician in our dear states. But before then, let me recognize a senior staff of Zenith Bank PLC, Mr. Arinze Ude. Mr. Arinze, you're welcome. Barrister Mrs. Margaret Nwebo, Fellow of the Institute of Chartered Mediators and Conciliators, ICMC, Nigeria, and life member of the Institute. Please put your hands together for her. Anybody who accepts to be a life member, know that the person will 100 years. So do lazy. At this point in time,
who today is the representatives of the United Nations Secretary General in Rwanda. So he is Ambassador Ojielo. Between then and now, 1999, we found a lot of learned cells who had run ICMC. Emeka Obegolu, Senior Advocate of Nigeria, was the president. Elachi Agada, Senior Advocate of Nigeria, was the president before Godwin Omoka. Together, ICMC has a representation virtually in every state in Nigeria. We build and we sustain relationships. I want to respectfully congratulate the Enugu branch for this momentous occasion, for keeping the flag flying. This was an experiment that began in 2018. The first annual lecture by that institute anywhere in Nigeria, apart from the national body. It began in Enugu. And thankfully, I was chairman then. Thereafter, Dr. Eric Oledo became chairman, and he has sustained the annual lecture. And then, SID Iyida, as chairman, has kept the flag flying. In 2019, Enugu State was adjudged the best branch in Nigeria. So I'm glad to be here in Enugu once more to appreciate the good work that ICMC Enugu branch is doing. The choice of a very, if you like, old press chairman of the branch, Akariwe, used to be a chairman here. He's a senior advocate of Nigeria, and he be our guest speaker today. I think Enugu State branch is doing well. Can we appreciate our guest speaker? The topic is germane. There's just no point scratching it because the guest speaker is well endowed to present the topic. So on behalf of the national body, I want to welcome all of you, especially the lords, the magistrates, captains of industry, local government chairmen, and those who have found time to be here today. Is a testimony that all is well with ICMC Enugu branch. And for those who have offered to support Enugu branch, ably led by a fellow of the institute, the chairman of Enugu East, is one of us. We want to thank you for the support. And for others who are supporting ICMC, we can't say but say thank you very much. I therefore finally wish to thank every guest here for attending this function, and I believe most sincerely that at the end of the day, it will be worth your while. For the awardees, those who have been found worthy in learning, character, and practice to be recognized by ICMC, it is a testament of your integrity, of your hard work, of your resilience, and of your dedication to the cause of peace and development, not only in Enugu State, but in Nigeria. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, thank you for your attention, and may God continue to bless all of us. Put your hands together for sure. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. We have in our midst Chief Osai Jude. He is the representative of the Surveyor General of the Federation. Ladies and gentlemen, shall we put our hands together for Jude Osai? Jude, we welcome you. There's a misplacement here. We welcome Professor Felix Asogwa, FICMC. He's here in dual capacity, in his own capacity, and also he's representing Chukwuemeka B. Eze, the first deputy president, ICMC Nigeria, who's also director, Democratic Futures in Africa, Open Society Foundations, Nairobi office, Kenya, and is currently in Nairobi. So, ladies and gentlemen, shall we put our hands together for him? We also have in our midst the Deputy Chief Registrar to High Court, Icmc Enugu. Your Worship will welcome you. Shall we put our hands together for him? Yeah.
Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. At this point in time, we are getting to the peak of the event. That will be the keynote speech by a legal luminary who has become a lord in this business. He's a chartered mediator and conciliator, Chartered Institute of Arbitration, United Kingdom. Court to bar 1985, precisely December 7, established his chamber, Lech Rehoboth Chambers, 1994. Has been involved successfully in several litigations at the Supreme Court, Federal High Court, Court of Appeal, National Industrial Court, Customary Court, African Commission on Human People's Rights, Election Petition Tribunals, and Magistrate Courts. This man has been an external solicitor to First Bank of Nigeria, Union Bank of Nigeria, Niger Gas, Mortgage Bank, and so many other banks. Former Vice Chairman, Nigerian Bar Association. Several times he served as the Chief Rapporteur to several bar conferences, not just in Nigeria, Africa, and the rest of the world. The publisher of several books, prominent amongst them is Eagle on the Bench, 1999-2001. Ladies and gentlemen, may I present to you the keynote speaker, Barrister Ikazo Akariwe, Senior Advocate of Nigeria, SAN. Continue clapping, please.
My lords, spiritual and temporal, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, I must congratulate my successor chairman of ICMC. It pleased God that I will be the first chair in 2006. And I was chair for 8 years to 2014 or 2015. I'm not sure, 2014. And thereafter, Mrs. Ojukwu Nwagbo became chair, and thereafter, a professor at ISUT, professor of law. I've been battling to remember the name of my friend. I think I'm getting old now. He became chair, and then the trio of Dr. Eric Oluedo, Honorable Anyoke Iyida, have moved ICMC to another level. And I congratulate you all. Now, I have a 22-page presentation, and I am reluctant to read it. You will be bored to death if I read it. And I wish I had more time. I would have put it on PowerPoint. But good a thing, I sent out soft copy to the chair, and I think he also forwarded them to people and to the discussants. And good a thing, I know that's quite a lot of hard copies have been distributed this morning. Yes. So I will spare you all the agony. The page 5 of the paper is basically introductory. But I will just go through the introduction by saying, well, what we are discussing is mediating commercial disputes in Nigeria, the impact of alternative dispute resolution in promoting business stability. And I will start with a true story. Many years ago, a company came from Germany. They wanted to invest in Nigeria. And they decided to conduct a due diligence to find out various aspects of the business environment in Nigeria. When they came to the judiciary and dispute resolution, they were told that the average length of time for a court case in the High Court would be around about 5 years, and that the average length of time in the Court of Appeal will be around about 3 years, and the average length of time if it went to the Supreme Court would be about 7 years. They decided not to invest in Nigeria anymore. They were satisfied with every other result of their due diligence, but they said your dispute resolution mechanism, litigation, we can be in court for as long as 15 years. And they said, we are in business and there must be disputes in every business. How can we spend 15 years in court? And so Nigeria lost an employment spinner, a business that would have brought employment and brought income and brought wealth. Now, this is the one that I know. This is the one that I know. How about the ones I don't know? The many companies from Asia, the Americas, Europe, who have tried to do business here and they run away when they hear that they could spend forever, as it were, in court. Not too long ago, a Chinese company came to invest in Enugu State. I think they produce ceramics, and tiles, and so on. And before you could say Jack Robbins, they had been taken to courts by locals, community, and so on. And the Chinese company came to brief me, and we went to court. And they were so discouraged because they don't understand. Particularly that China is a heavily regulated, centrally regulated nation. So they don't have problem of land ownership and so on. However, we settled that case out of court. And in interacting with my clients, they were discouraged, very discouraged. I think the judge who handled that case is here. The matter was settled out of court, but I can tell you that they were so discouraged that they have to go to court, discouraged about legal fees they have to pay. So this is just my way of saying that we have two emergencies on our hands. The first emergency we have is that something must be done about litigation. Something must be done about litigation. And I have a very simple solution. Appoint in a state like Enugu, where the average number of cases high court judges have in their dockets is between 400 and 500. Simply appoint 100 legal practitioners, able legal practitioners as high court judges. Build 100 court halls. We can afford it. We're not a poor country. And then have regional courts of appeal, federal court of appeal, regional court of appeal. I don't understand how a judge from Enugu can be court of appeal judge in Kano and understand the culture and the land tenure of Kano, or a judge from Kano can be court of appeal judge in Enugu and understand. In fact, one day in the court of appeal, that judge from Kebbi State, he's dead now, got very abusive, because before them was a case between two brothers. And he began to denigrate an entire culture. It can't happen in my culture. Two brothers come to court against themselves. So there are many reasons why we need regional courts of appeal and federal court of appeal. There are so many reasons why a state like Lagos should have no less than 250 high court judges. The matter is a scandal. How long cases take in court is a scandal. If you have a case in the Supreme Court right now, adjournment date is 2029. It's a scandal. Because justice delayed is justice denied. And so justice is being denied every day. However, the failure of litigation is a winner for ADR. And we must institutionalize ADR, and we must avoid the pitfalls of litigation in ADR. Incidentally, my secretary just brought me my arbitral award in an arbitration for me to sign right here while I was waiting for the program to start. So many people are going for ADR, and you should go for ADR. Can I whisper something to you all? That I am a lawyer. This is my 40 years at the bar. If you offend me, I am very reluctant to go to court. I, a lawyer, find it hard to go to court because the pitfalls are too many. It takes too long. And I am a lawyer in the system. So we mustn't treat ADR as a light thing. ADR is what will even boost the economy of Nigeria. Because many businessmen can't do business in Nigeria, international businessmen, because the justice system is as slow as a snail. Have you seen the joke on the internet where there was a photograph of an elephant, and the elephant was saying something about the Nigerian justice system is very, very slow. And he was running. I don't know how that joke went. And then the antelope joined him and began to run away because of how slow the Nigerian justice system is. Now, the impact of ADR in promoting business stability, I can only advise that we all should work towards institutionalization of ADR in a way that people will think of ADR first before they think of litigation. Incidentally, I have listed out here certain conceptual clarifications. What is commercial dispute? You all know that. What is ADR? You also all know that. Mechanisms of ADR: negotiation, conciliation, mediation, arbitration, and so on. MEDAP, you all know that. I also listed out Supreme Court judgments, where the Supreme Court defined arbitration, ADR, and so on. I don't need to read them out. You know that already. Legal and institutional frameworks for ADR, it's here. The Arbitration and Mediation Act 2023, Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, the rules of the various courts of the land. How many of you know, you lawyers, how many of you know that the rules of professional conduct for lawyers, our rules of professional conduct, actually stipulates in Rule 15, sub-rule 3D, that in representing our clients, a lawyer should not fail or neglect to inform his client of the option of alternative dispute resolution mechanisms before resorting to or continuing litigation on behalf of his clients. How many of us lawyers start off when we are briefed to institute legal action? How many of us start off by saying to our clients, by informing our clients, ADR options? But it is a provision in our rules of professional conduct. You find that at page 8, Rule 15.3D. And it did not say a lawyer may not fail. It says a lawyer shall not fail or neglect. So it's mandatory to inform your clients. Look here, we could go to the multi-door courthouse. Look here, we can go to arbitration. There are arbitrators in Enugu. We can go to mediation. That is really the very first step a lawyer who has been briefed to institute action should start from. And then we can move on a little further. The paper starts really in paragraph 5.0. I was mistaken when I said it starts in page 5. I'm sorry, I meant in paragraph 5.0 at page 13. That is really where the paper starts. And I will round up in 10 minutes because you have the paper before you. I take it as read. I'll just say that in the contemporary world of commerce, business relationships are the lifeblood of growth and sustainability. The lifeblood of the economy are business relationships. I think some of us were aware of the crisis between Dangote and Rabiu, the BUA people, and the effect it was having on the price of goods as they were undercutting one another and fighting one another. Business relationships are the lifeblood of progress, of growth, sustainability in the world of commerce. And whether we like it or not, there's going to be misunderstandings, miscommunications, and conflict in interests. There's going to be difficulty. Even two people born from the same womb will have misunderstanding. So misunderstanding is native to the human being. I recall many years ago, I was company secretary of Niger Gas. That must have been 2001. Niger Gas is one of the companies of Enugu State. And we were trying to revive Niger Gas. We brought in Russian investors or demontage from Russia to revive Niger Gas, revive the acetylene plant and the oxygen plant. And a conflict arose between Demontage, the Russians, and the chief investor, who happened to be the chairman of the board of Niger Gas. There was a conflict, a mega conflict that rendered Niger Gas comatose till today. I will not go into it, but Niger Gas was a major employer of labor in Enugu State. But the chairman, he is late now, so rest in peace. And the Russians, who were invited by the Enugu State government of that era, were having difficulties. And you know, there was only 1 or 2 oxygen plants in Nigeria. Oxygen plants, and hospitals need oxygen. And there was also acetylene plant. And the government of Chimaroke Namani wanted to revive that Niger Gas, but a conflict undermined, conflict between the two of them. And so I'm just giving a graphic illustration. I was a frontline player. I wasn't yet a chartered mediator at the time. But we all thought, how can we reconcile these people? They were irreconcilable. And I can tell you for free that disputes will come, and the ADR is non-negotiable for the economy. If we all make use of our ADR expertise, and if society is socialized into realizing that there are ADR practitioners, and where you work, like I was company secretary Niger Gas, if I had been a chartered mediator at the time, and I was able to get the parties to the table and invite other chartered mediators, I think that perhaps Niger Gas will be thriving today. So the point is, ADR is imperative. ADR is cheaper than litigation. ADR leaves the parties friends in most cases, especially mediation, because the parties together, they work out the solution in the presence of a mediator. So mediation especially is win-win. The problem of mediation perhaps is that people would rather pay lawyers than pay a mediator. And how mediators can get their fees is another matter. But I know that some companies like Chevron, some of these oil firms have put into every agreement, when they are signing a contract, they put in a clause for mediation. And that is one thing we can do as lawyers when we draft contract agreements. Usually there's always a clause for arbitration. I would advise putting a clause for mediation and in the alternative for arbitration. That way, we will encourage the people to make use of ADR mechanisms. I conclude, I'm headed straight to page 19. Like I said earlier, you are all mostly experts in ADR, and whatever other information you need is in the paper. And we have also soft copies, so I will not spend longer than necessary when I know that you can read this and digest this and actualize this. So I just begin to conclude in paragraph 9, in page 19. The impact of dispute resolution on business relationships cannot be overstated, whether through litigation, mediation, arbitration, or negotiation. The methods chosen to resolve disputes significantly influence trust, communication, reputation, and long-term relationships. By prioritizing effective dispute resolution practices, businesses can foster better relationships, enhance their reputations, and ultimately drive their success in an increasingly competitive marketplace. As organizations navigate the complexities of disputes in today's business environment, adopting the best practices and embracing a proactive approach to conflict management will be critical in shaping the future of their relationships and achieving sustained growth. Understanding the nuances of dispute resolution is not only about addressing conflicts, it is about strategically managing relationships that are fundamental to success in the business world. Let me say something about strategically managing relationships. When I was a young lawyer, we used to put breakfast on the table by being lawyers to the banks. We were solicitors to banks, and the banks will give out loan of 15,000 naira, and the person will fail to pay, and young lawyers like us were briefed by the banks to take them to court under the undefended list. Our fee was always a tenth of the recovery, and so we will go to bank to court for 15,000 naira, and then we would win the cases, and then we will levy execution, seize their motor cars, and so on. And I discovered that today, banks don't take people to court anymore. They seldom take people to court for loans, failure to pay loans. They do a lot of negotiation and a lot of discussion, a lot of mediation. That's what the banks are doing. And I discovered that what the banks are doing today, they are strategically managing relationships. Because when the bank takes people to court, as a matter of fact, I came to hate levying execution, because when I went with the bailiffs at 6 a.m. to levy execution, and I saw middle-aged men weeping and crying as their cars are taken away, I used to feel very, very bad. And I said, no, I'm not going to do this kind of practice again. But there was always a breakdown between relationships between the banks and their customers. I remember one man who was so indebted. He came to see me in chambers and he begged me, please don't disgrace me, don't take me to court. I had written him a letter. We are going to court against you. Came to see me, said, don't take me to court. I beg you. If my wife knows about it, it will break her heart. Please don't take me to court. I will find the money. Something about his earnestness, I didn't take him to court. He found that money. He paid that money. Many years down the line, that man became a major contractor in Enugu State, and he built most of the government establishments. Some of you already know who I'm talking about. He was the sole builder of many things in this state. And can you imagine? He was down and out. He was down and out. And then 15 years after, he was up and about. So it is better for the banks, I'm just using banks as an example, to strategically manage relationships by ADR. ADR is the way to go, and I have a slight bias for mediation. Thank you very much. Thank you, thank you, thank you again.
I think he deserves better than this.
Please, can we give him a standing ovation?
That's right.
Please, it's not easy. Appreciate him the more. Put your hands together
for him.
Thank you so much. You may be seated. When he was talking about the man who came to his office to plead with him not to take him to court, and later became a major stakeholder economically in the States, I'm sure most of you, your mind is pondering over myself. I'm not the person. That was a wonderful one. 40 years in the legal practice, 40 years of success, 40 years of grooming so many lawyers. And that is indeed very, very commendable. Thank you, sir, for coming. Thank you. You can see his name, Ikazo Akariwe. Very unique. While he was talking, the Honorable Commissioner for Youth and Sports, Enugu State, walked in. He is a successful maritime lawyer. He is now being rated as the most performing youth commissioner in Nigeria. Ladies and gentlemen, Honorable Barrister Lloyd Ekweremadu Jr. No, you're welcome.
We welcome you, sir.
At the same time, former local government chairman, also one local government, and currently the secretary of the People's Democratic Party, Enugu State. Very humble gentleman. Ladies and gentlemen, Honorable Chokode Nnadozie. You're welcome. Let me also welcome the executive chairman of Nsukka local government, the only township local government chairman in the Enugu North Senatorial Zone of Enugu State. Ladies and gentlemen, Honorable Chief Chinedu Asogwa. Put your hands together for him. Is your no? You're welcome. Let me also recognize the wife of the chairman of Igbeze North local government. The chairman is unavoidably absent because he believes in the capacity of his wife. He sends his wife to represent him in this August occasion. All the ladies in the house, can you appreciate Mrs. Agatha Ogala? At the same time, if you come to Enugu, the governor is a lawyer, the deputy governor is a lawyer. That is why we are operating in a sane judicial administrative system, because tomorrow is here with us. The director of Legal Department, Office of the Deputy Governor of Enugu State, His Excellency, Barrister Dr. Ifeanyi Osai, is here. Dr. Mrs. Obioma Okenyi. Put your hands together for her. You're welcome. Before I call on the discussions, it's important we react to the lecture of the keynote speaker. Please, at this point in time, the floor is open for questions. You know, in the Nigerian police force, there's this belief that when someone is arrested, he should be charged to court within 24 hours. I am not talking about Enugu State Police Command. I'm talking about the police of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. But sometimes someone could be arrested and you wouldn't hear from the person for 1 week or 2 weeks. We have lawyers here. We have judges, we have magistrates, we have sons, and so on and so forth. Ladies and gentlemen, the keynote speaker has made his lecture, and we all have witnessed, except those who just came in now. But I'm sure they know why we are here. You can ask your questions. The chairman is a renowned lord in the judiciary as a judge. Ask your questions why police arrests a culprit or a suspect and the person will not be charged to court within 24 hours. And also the role of the judiciary in the Nigerian polity, because it's important. Not just an MC, I'm also an activist. So most times I begin to ask questions. And now, my learned colleague, because I'm trying to study law, so colleague in view, learned colleague in view, maybe in the next 5 years, As my friend said, he's a Moss, he studies law. I asked him why. He said he's light in complexion and his father is dark. That the first person he will sue is his father. Whether he wins the case in the court or not, but he must be a lawyer. And I also want to be a lawyer, maybe in the next 5 years. So you go to the audience, anyone that has a question can ask a question. You direct the question to Justice Sani. Thank you.
Thank you very much, the able master of ceremony, Mr. Diamond. Thank you for comparing so well. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, my lords, here present, the very erudite paper presenter, Barrister Ikaza Kariwe, Senior Advocate of Nigeria. I still stand on the already well-established protocol. Well, I'll first ask us all to still give the paper presenter a resounding applause. Yes. For the very well-researched and well-presented paper. We have been quite enlightened by the very well-presented and erudite paper. Now, before I call on the discussant, Mr. Tom Anyafulude, I would like to remind us, just put us through a little on what are the takeaways from the paper. We saw that the justice system, that is the prevailing one, is slow, it can be sluggish. How the ADR system can boost the economy and the impact of ADR in promoting business stability. That the first point of call should be ADR. Even when you're drafting contracts, there is need to insert ADR clauses. It could be 1 tier, 2 tier, 3 tiers. 1 tier when you just say it is arbitration. 2 tiers when you say maybe you first negotiate, go through mediation. 3 tiers when you say you first negotiate, mediate, arbitrate before you go on to litigation. Then the paper, if you went through the paper, you would have seen the various subtopics, various mechanisms of ADR well discussed: negotiation, conciliation, mediation, arbitration, legal and institutional framework of ADR, Arbitration and Mediation Act 2023, the Constitution, Federal Capital Territory Court rules, and so on. Then we also saw the institutional framework, impact of ADR in promoting business stability in Nigeria, role of dispute resolution in business relationships. We saw that can preserve trust and collaboration, enhances communication, building a positive reputation, and we saw the cost implications, and also that it makes for long-term relationships, and so on and so forth. The paper is a very rich paper. So now I will call on the discussants, Mr. Tom Anyafulude, to help us understand the paper better. Thank you.
Yes, okay. My Lord, the chairman of this occasion, all other protocols duly observed. My Lord, it is within the realm of public knowledge that the senior lawyer, Ikazo Akariwe, is cerebral. My Lord, the paper presented this morning has traces of erudition. I do not know, I have the paper here, 22 pages. I do not know what else to say. I must say something, however, because if I go out without saying anything, on the assumption that the senior advocate of Nigeria has covered the field, the implication is that a leader may not give me a handshake. So, sir, however, I will adopt the approach of Lord Denning, MR, Master of the Rules. In the case of London Railway Corporation versus Wilson, where the Lord said, and I quote from the judgment, that we are sitting down here not to tear the language of parliament and ministers to pieces and make nonsense of them. We are sitting down here to find the intention of parliament and ministers, and we can do this better by filling in gaps and making sense of their enactments. So, sir, I will not discuss the paper. Rather, I will fill in gaps to make the paper presented by Akariwe, Senior Advocate of Nigeria, more authentic. My Lord, in the paper, I will say that all civil cases are subject to alternative dispute resolution, but criminal cases are not. So, what are those civil cases susceptible to mediate alternative dispute resolution? My Lord, carriage by sea, mining leases, oil and gas, custom and excise, taxation, banking, intellectual property. All these are subject to alternative dispute resolution. My Lord, looking closely at what I have mentioned, most of the subject matter are within the jurisdiction of the Federal High Court under Section 251 of the Constitution. Now, a young lawyer, 10 years, appointed as a judge of the Federal High Court, whose criteria for appointment is that they have attended 10 years at the bar, and maybe they are children of the chief judges of Nigeria. These are the two criteria. Now, the first time she's coming to court, she's confronted with breach of contract of voyage, travel, contract of voyage, carriage by sea. The document, agreement, is about 250 pages. The total evidence uploaded ran up to, let's say, 500 pages. Two senior advocates of Nigeria are in the case. The case will be called up. How does this judge approach this complex issue of carriage by sea? Now, in the law, many conventions were cited, including Vienna Convention. She will just call the case and ask the senior advocate of Nigeria to take a date. The complexity. But this type of situation can be avoided if you invite the Akariwes, the Oshibanjos, to mediate. So what I'm trying to say is that expertise is part of the advantages of alternative dispute resolution. My Lord, I submit that speed is a function of expertise. Speed is a function of expertise. On a lighter note, there was a judge here in Enugu State, may her soul rest in peace. When you come to her court and she sees that you are carrying up to 10 textbooks or 20, she will greet you and ask you, Anya Flude, what is the number of the case you're interested in? Say, my Lord, I'm interested in number 4. The next thing, clerk of court, give him a date off record. She doesn't want to stress herself. Expertise. Once you invite people who are experienced in the team, who are knowledgeable, it makes the job easy, and it will be faster. Expertise goes with, is a function of, so that is one of the advantages of ADR. My Lord, flexibility. In law, when we are doing conducting proceedings, admissibility of documents under the Evidence Act, whether it's a photocopy, whether it is original, not for alternative dispute resolution. You look at it, and then you do substantial justice. Flexibility. You are not bound by the rules of practice and procedure. So all of these are contained in this excellent paper presented by Akariwe. I want to emphasize before I sit down is that we now have a new law, Arbitration and Mediation Act of 2023. There are unique provisions there. For instance, electronic agreements is now provided for. Joinder of parties provided for. Consolidation of suits provided for. Limitation of enforcement of award provided for under that Arbitration and Mediation Act. Now, my learned senior mentioned about advantage investors. Our president, Tinubu, has traveled to more than 30-something countries seeking for investment. There's what we call foreign direct investment. My Lord, I submit that no serious investor can ever come to Nigeria when there is no valid and authentic mechanism for alternative dispute resolution. It was clearly stated by the senior advocate, but I want to reemphasize it. So, in this regard, Enugu State, led by Peter Mba, has orchestrated the issue of investment. The question is, do we have a law on alternative dispute resolution? Because I submit that the issue of arbitration, mediation, is within the residual legislative list. So the State House of Assembly can make our law dealing with mediation, arbitration, and so forth. Do we have it in Enugu State? No, sir. Almost everywhere in Enugu State now is an urban area. Consequently, the customary courts do not have jurisdiction to try land matters. So the High Court will be congested. In our law, in our rules, do we have provision for ADR practice? I know of Lagos State, the High Court rules of Lagos State 2010, but I'm not very sure of that of Enugu State. Do we have a elaborate provision for alternative dispute resolution? So these are the key issues. My Lord, my learned senior enumerated several advantages of ADR. The disadvantages are there too. And the essence of this gathering, convocation, is for us to see how do we maneuver those hurdles. One of them is execution. My Lord, you do everything fast in ADR, but you cannot execute award without going through the court. And once you go through the court, that hurdle, the go slow begins. So how do we execute awards? That is a question. Another question is, when a party refuses to, obey an award, unlike other courts, you can bring action for defamation of contempt of court. But in the case of ADR, you cannot cite a person that has refused for contempt. So how do we go through this issue of execution? How do we carry out the judgments of the court? Because you have to file the award, and the court will enforce it. My question before I sit down is to the the speaker. Under the mediation, under the Arbitration and Mediation Act of 2023, there are provisions for setting aside an award. And there are courts named there, the High Court and the Federal High Court. Where do you go to set aside an award? Is it a court that has jurisdiction? For instance, you are talking of banking, and under Section 251, Federal High Court has a jurisdiction. Do you go to the Federal High Court, or can any court, including a state court, set aside an award which subject matter is within the jurisdiction of the Federal High Court? So I call upon Enugu State to make provisions for ADR in our law. Let it be indigenous to us. It must not be the same thing as Arbitration and Mediation Act of 2023. On this note, I thank the organizers for inviting me. I hope I have satisfied Ida.
Yeah.
We can do better. We can do better. Can do better.
Another round of applause for Mr. Tom Anyafulude. Yes, Mr. Tom, thank you very much. Mr. Anyafulude, you've always been a very brilliant lawyer and author of many law books. We couldn't have expected anything less than this. Thanks for your useful insights and contributions that will enrich the paper more. Nevertheless, I think there are some new areas and new thinking where I would like to, make some comments so that maybe some people will not go out with an impression that shouldn't have been. For instance, you mentioned that in criminal law, in criminal cases, there is no opportunity for ADR. No, I don't think so. In criminal cases, in our laws, even before now, there's always been opportunity for ADR in what is called restorative justice, even though it's not always practiced, but it's there. But now, the system is moving towards adoption of restorative justice in criminal cases. And what is restorative justice? Is a way of restoring, just as the name goes, restoring to the victim of the offense, the person that suffered harm, moving away from the retributive justice that we've always known, whereby is an eye for an eye. If you do anything, you'll be punished. Only punishment. Punish the offender, punish the offender. And the victim is only used as a witness. You just come to court and testify. You don't have a say on how the matter goes on. You don't have a say on what happens to the offender. Now we look at the victim, the offender, and of course the community in general. It's now a three-way traffic, no more a two-way traffic. That is why even the Correctional Services Act, the new act that changed from prisons to correctional service, 2019, has divided the role of the prison into two: the custodial and the non-custodial. Part of the duties of the non-custodial service in the correctional service is to handle probation, parole, community service, and restorative justice. So now, when judges want to sentence or magistrate, they're encouraged to not only to imprison, but to think of things like restoration, restitution, compensation. These are restorative measures whereby you think about the victim. You even make opportunity for victim-offender mediation, that is ADR, where the victim, the offender, and the maybe prosecutor, the IPO, where they meet to talk about the harm done. How will the offender make amends for what he has done? When they now agree, the agreement is brought before the court for the court to adopt it as a judgment of the court. The court may either add to or remove from what has been agreed. And the person is given a lighter sentence, perhaps maybe community service and so on. So there is restorative justice. Now, as a matter of fact, the Enugu state has formed a committee on restorative justice, implementing restorative justice proper in Enugu state, of which my humble self is the chairman, and the Honorable Attorney General is also on that committee, always represented by my sister here. It says OKG. So very soon, you will get to know about the restorative justice very well in Enugu. In fact, the jingles have been on air, on the various radios about restorative justice. So tell everybody you know that when somebody has committed offense, it is not only go to jail. You can talk about it. The cases can be settled out of court and the victim is satisfied. If they snatch your phone, God forbid, you want a return of phone, especially property offenses. Don't care whether the person banged 100 years. And it helps to decongest our prison, our overpopulated prison. If I go on and on, we will not live here. So that is one. Thank you. Then another aspect is that there is no ADR in our high court rules. I don't think so. Our rules, even before we amended, the 2016 rules had provision for ADR during a pretrial conference. At that time, at that stage of the hearing, the judge is empowered to talk to the parties and see whether they can settle the case out of court. Give them opportunity to go and settle and come back. Wherein they could not settle, the court can now go ahead to hear the matter. Even our new rule 2022 re-emphasized it. Magistrate court rules also has provision for ADR. So ADR has come to stay, even in our rules. It can only be better. Thank you. Now the floor is open for comments, questions, and so on. Just a few. Thank you.
Can you put your hands together for her?
Thank you, Chairman. Permit me also to stand on the existing protocols. Let me also join the earlier speakers in commending the guest speaker, who sufficiently did justice to the topic, assigned to him. He gave us a detailed analysis about the relationship between ADR and effective business practices. And my only contribution or area I want to come in is one area I've always hammered on when both scholars and practitioners talk about ADR, which is the alternative to litigation. Litigation, like we all know, is Eurocentric because it has its origin from European legal practices. But equally, you look at ADR, it's also inclined towards Eurocentric, mechanisms of dispute resolution. And this is where I get more worried often. Like the analysis the keynote speaker did, enumerating the various tranches of ADR, and I begin to wonder, where is the African traditional dispute resolution mechanism in all this? Because, of course, when we discuss ADR, like I said, quite often we keep tending towards the European practices, what they've told us. But we know effectively, within the traditional African society, there are various mechanisms for resolving both business and other interpersonal and group conflict, which most of the time we tend to play down, but they are very effective within our own environmental setting. And this is the challenge also I'm posing to such a Leonard Silk, like the guest speaker. He has to do more, and the rest of you have also to do more, because that is why also the institute I'm heading, Institute for Peace, Conflict and Development Studies, where we engage in both MSc, PhD programs. We also have recently, we developed a special course within the African traditional conflict resolution mechanism, which is very, very important, because most of the fora you appear talking about ADR is also about this Eurocentric nature of ADR, when we say litigation is European inclined. So please, I pose a challenge to the guest speaker and the rest of you also to look more into African traditional conflict management mechanism, because it tells us towards ADR, but it's not strictly the ADR as they are presenting it. Thank you so much, and God bless us.
Thank you, Prof. Prof. And Director, Institute for Peace, Conflict, and Development Studies. The chairman just stepped out to answer an urgent call. But let me, as Godwin Omoka, Senior Advocate of Nigeria, momentarily appreciate our very Chairman Emeritus of Enugu branch for a paper well written, for a paper well researched, and for a paper well presented. I can't add more to what previous speakers have said. The discussants, thank you so much for all you've done, and the chairman. Mr. President has asked me to tell this August gathering that prior to now, we used to have three kinds of membership of the institute. One is the associate member, the other is the full member, and the fellows. Under Godwin Omoka's leadership, we've come to see that a lot of students are interested in engaging in ADR. And so he has created student membership. So for students who are here, who wish to become members of the institute as students, please get in touch with Iyida after this, or you can speak to me. The president has also gone ahead to ensure that postgraduate students all over Nigeria who wish to become members of the institute can also be trained under a special package. We're not waiting until you leave school, graduate, to come out, and then you begin to be a member of the institute. So if you're a postgraduate student anywhere in Nigerian University, get in touch with the branch chairman, or you can get in touch with me. He has equally extended training to law students in Nigerian law. It's been on. But before now, it was under a one vendor. Now he has created a new vendorship where the Abani Law Campus can be trained here in Enugu. So these are new innovations that will help to increase membership and advance the cause of ADR. On behalf of the Mr. President, okay, thank you very much. We appreciate you. Thank you very much, and remain blessed. Any person wishing to make further comments?
From the audience?
From the audience, please.
Okay, the legal advisor from the office of the Deputy Governor.
Thank you. Good afternoon, everyone. Please permit me to stand on the existing protocol. I want to especially appreciate the guest lecturer, Akariwe SN, for the wonderful paper delivered and for the discussants and some other discussions that we have. So without just going through repeating what people have already said, the essence of me speaking is just to answer some questions from the questions posed by Tom Anyafulude. You know, he talked about the challenge of jurisdiction as it concerns award. And I want to let us know, because this is a forum where we can all learn. It's not a challenge as where you enforce jurisdiction, where you enforce award, because from his questions, it's all about where there is an award and you have to go to court. Which court do you now go to? It's not a challenge at all, because it's already captured in the Arbitration and Mediation Act 2023. So the jurisdiction as it concerns challenging of an award or enforcement of an award goes to the court that has original jurisdiction in the first instance. That is, if that matter is a matter that Federal High Court had jurisdiction, if you hadn't gone to ADR, if you want to challenge an award or you want to enforce an award, so you go to that original court. Like matters of banking, it goes to Federal High Court. If it's matters of land, it goes to State High Court. So there is no problem on that at all. Then there is the challenge that we usually have before the Arbitration and Mediation Act on that arbitration award or mediation award are not appealable. It became a challenge because people said that right of appeal is a fundamental right. If you are not satisfied with a particular decision, you have this right as enshrined in the Constitution to go on appeal. And because we said that arbitration award is not appealable, now the new Arbitration and Mediation Act created a special section where you have the arbitration appeal panel. So the arbitration appeal panel serves like an appeal so that you don't complain about your rights of fair hearing or your rights of appeal have been jeopardized by not appealing that award. So that has been taken care of also.
Thank you.
Then also, he talked about that Enugu State doesn't have laws. My Lord Annie, I've answered that, but I want to add that we have Enugu State arbitration law. It's there. So as far as ADR is concerned, Enugu State have been doing a lot, even though he talked about a special panel also that have been created to look into the loopholes, the other challenges people have been talking about. And I'm sure that that committee will do a great job on that. Thank you very much.
Very concise and educative one. Thank you for that. Ladies and gentlemen, while the discussion was ongoing, the immediate past chairman, Nigerian Bar Association, Nsukka branch, the immediate past coordinating chairman of all chairmen, NBA Enugu State, currently the chairman of Igbeze South Local Government and the deputy Algon chairman, Enugu State, Honorable Barrister Ugo Ferdinand. Can you appreciate him?
Let's also welcome
Thank you for
the
coming.
Lord Honorable Justice E.N. Oluedo. My Lord will welcome you. We also have in the house, my Lord Honorable Justice C.I. Mobodo. My Lord will welcome you.
Thank you. Also reminding you that the Commissioner of Police, Enugu State Command, CP Mama Beatrice Gewa, is ably represented by the Deputy Commissioner of Police, State CID, DCP Umar Mohammed. Very proactive. Thank you for coming, sir. Thank you so much. If you don't have the brochure with you, the Institute of Chartered Mediators and Conciliators, ICMC in acronym, has branches all over the country with over 13,000 members. And every year, every of the state branch organizes their annual lecture and discussion. At the national level, they also undergo this system. And induction membership is open to so many organizations. But before you become a member, you must be a citizen with high level of unquestionable character. It is not just for lawyers. Engineers are welcomed, medical doctors are welcomed, and so many professions, apart from African traditional worship,
Yes,
otherwise
also,
known as native doctor.
the representative of the Surveyor General of the Federation wants to make his contribution. Mr. Chairman. Mr. Chairman, sir. Mr. Chairman, sir. Can we take one more contribution from this?
Hold
Okay.
on.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
So let's go into another segment. Now, the Institute has deemed it necessary to recognize so many outstanding persons in different professions. And that is why you've seen traditional rulers, politicians, legal luminaries, and technocrats gathered here for this. Let me invite, at this point in time, Honorable Justice E.N. Oluedo for her award. I'm going to be calling on the chairman of the occasion, Justice Chinyere Ane. Please, all the lawyers in the house, can you appreciate her? Can you appreciate her?
That's the Amazon on the bench too. The quintessential Honorable Justice E.N. Oluedo.
Wow. My Lord, Honorable Justice Oluedo E.N., FICMC, MIDR. This award is presented to you by the Institute of Chartered Mediators and Conciliators, Icmc Enugu State Chapter, a distinguished Platinum Award of Excellence in recognition of your contribution to peace, advocacy, judicial activism, and mediation-friendly society. Congratulations, my Lord.
We can do better than that. The next awardee should be getting ready. The next awardee should be getting ready.
Please, the man on the white attire is not the boyfriend. That is the husband, legally married.
He's also the boyfriend.
Put
Put your hands together.
I was told that she recently celebrated 60th birthday. Thank you. Attorney General and Commissioner for Justice, Dr. Kingsley Ude, PhD, MSc, BSc, HND, PDP.
Thank you. This award by the Institute of Chartered Mediators and Conciliators, Icmc Enugu State Chapter, is a distinguished Platinum Award of Excellence presented to the very erudite and amiable Honorable Attorney General and Commissioner for Justice, Enugu State, Barrister Kingsley Ude, PhD, in recognition of your contribution in the promotion of mediation practice, administration of justice reforms, equity, and just society. Congratulations.
Thank you. The next person is Dr. Ozonia Ojielo, the founding president of ICMC. Please put your hands together for him. Ably represented by Honorable Chief Anioke.
Okay. The Institute of Chartered Mediators and Conciliators, ICMC Enugu State Chapter, a distinguished Diamond Award of Excellence, presented to His Excellency, the Great Achiever, the world-class personality, Dr. Ozonia Ojielo, FICMC, founding president, ICMC, in recognition of your contribution to the establishment of mediation in Nigeria, peace, sustainability, development, and service to humanity. Congratulations.
We can appreciate him better than this. Congratulations.
Ladies and gentlemen, the first deputy president, Dr. Chukwuemeka Eze, PhD, FICMC, Federal Republic of Nigeria, Director, Democratic Features in Africa, Open Society Foundation, Nairobi, Kenya. Please appreciate him.
Applause, please. Yes, the Institute of Chartered Mediators and Conciliators, ICMC Enugu State Chapter, gives you this distinguished Diamond Award of Excellence. His Excellency Chukwuemeka B. Eze, PhD, FICMC, First Deputy President, ICMC Nigeria, Director, Democratic Futures in Africa, Open Society Foundation, Nairobi office, Kenya. In recognition of your contribution to the development of mediation, peace, sustainability, and human capital development. Congratulations.
We can do better. Appreciate him.
My Lord Mothri, now let me call on the commissioner that will soon bring a bag of rice to your house, the stoned rice. Honorable Commissioner for Agriculture, Honorable Chief Patrick Obro. Please appreciate him.
If it's the one from his backyard, yes.
You can see he's being supported by another member of the State Executive Council, Ekweremadu Jr., and the PDP secretary. Wow.
That's right. Sirigis, Siriganda. What a beautiful
Honorable
moment.
Commissioner, the Institute of Chartered Mediators and Conciliators, ICMC Enugu State Chapter, gives you this distinguished Golden Award of Excellence. Honorable Patrick Mwabweze Uburu, PhL, Honorable Commissioner for Agriculture and Agro-Industrialization, Enugu State. In recognition of your contribution to the development of agro-industrialization and agricultural infrastructure, visionary leadership, and the promotion of mediation in Nigeria. Congratulations.
You know, Commissioner is a farmer. Yes. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. He's doing well. He's doing well. Let me call on the chairman of a town in Enugu North Senatorial Zone, Honorable Engineer Jude Asogwa, KSJI, chairman of Nsukka Local Government Area, to receive his award.
Yes, the executive chairman, the Institute of Chartered Mediators and Conciliators, ICMC Enugu State Chapter, gives you this distinguished Golden Award of Excellence. Engineer Jude Asogwa C, KSJI, the executive chairman, Nsukka Local Government Area, Enugu State. In recognition of your peace-building capacity, excellence, socioeconomic development, undiluted service, and empathy to humanity. Congratulations, sir.
Thank you. The Deputy Chairman of Algon, Barrister Honorable Ugo Ferdinand, Chairman Ibeze South Local Government Area, another mayor name of former. Mekono Kwanaka.
Yes. Dear Mayor, the Institute of Chartered Mediators and Conciliators, ICMC, Enugu State Chapter, gives you this distinguished Golden Award of Excellence. Barrister Ugo Ferdinand Ukweze, the Executive Chairman, Ibweze South Local Government Area, Enugu State, in recognition of your contribution to the development of mediation, access to justice, and exemplary leadership. Congratulations, sir.
Thank you. Thank you. The last one on your roll. Pastor, Engineer, Beloved Dan Obi Anike, Chairman, Enugu East Local Government Area, Senior Pastor, Redeemed Christian Church of God.
Yes. Dear Pastor, The Institute of Chartered Mediators and Conciliators, ICMC, Enugu State Chapter, gives you this distinguished Golden Award of Excellence. Engineer Pastor Beloved Dan Obi Anike, FNSE, FICMC, FCIFM, Executive Chairman, Enugu East Local Government Area. In recognition of your contribution to mediation advocacy, community development, and service to humanity. Congratulations, sir.
Put your hands together.
Applause. Thank you, Mama. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Intelligent, articulate, and coordinated. Justice Chinyere Ane, I commend you for this role. Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, at this point in time, let me call on Chief Uche Anyoke to play this role at this point in time. Before then, let me invite the distinguished recipient awardee, His Royal Majesty Igwe Ozo Christian Obinna, Igwe Chimereze I of Ikenge, Omolongbe Kingdom, Enugu State.
Can you appreciate the Igwe as he keeps coming? The Institute of Chartered Mediators and Conciliators, ICMC, Enugu chapter, hereby gives a distinguished Golden Award of Excellence to His Royal Majesty, Igwe Ozo Christian Obinna JP, Igwe Chimereze I of Ikenge, Umulumbe Kingdom, Enugu State. In recognition of your mediation prowess, effective representation, and human capital development, this day, 11th June, 2025. Congratulations, Your Royal Highness.
Thank you.
Thank you. Hi, Chief, sir. Chief Tom Anyafulude is a Nigerian that has made his mark, especially in the bench. On this note, we give him that honor by bringing his award to his table.
A rare honor to present this award to a rare man, a gentleman par excellence. The Institute of Chartered Mediators and Conciliators, Nigeria, Enugu State Chapter, hereby presents a distinguished Golden Award of Excellence to Chief Tom Anyafulude, former Chief Registrar Customary Court of Appeal, Enugu, and Secretary, Enugu State Justice Reform Team. This is done in recognition of your contribution to the development of laws, justice reforms, advocacy, and the propagation of mediation in Nigeria. Given this day, 11th June, 2025. Congratulations, sir.
Congratulations, the former Chief Registrar of the Customary Court of Appeal, Enugu State, Ikenga Tom Anyafulude. Congratulations, sir.
Dr. Tochukwu Otiji, CEO Giants Incorporated Limited, ably represented by Mr. Mechi.
Thank you. This is actually a giant of a man. The Institute of Chartered Mediators and Conciliators, ICMC Nigeria, Enugu State Chapter, hereby presents a distinguished Golden Award of Excellence to Dr. Tochukwu Otuji, CEO, JYDZ Incorporated Limited, And this is done in recognition of your mediation prowess, effective representation, and human capital development. Given this day, 11th June 2025, congratulations.
Congratulations. The next
Thank you, sir.
awardee
Thank you,
is
sir. Thank you. Let me call to the podium Justice E.N. Namani to make presentation of some of our awards. Please put your hands together
for him. And the next awardee is
the wife of the chairman of Igbeze North local government, Honorable Michael Uche Ogala. Please appreciate her. She comes forward.
The Institute of Chartered Mediators and Conciliators, ICMC, Enugu State Chapter, a distinguished Golden Award of Excellence, presented to Honorable Michael Uche Ogala, the Executive Chairman, Igbeze North LG Enugu State. I award this, grant this to you, the awarded. Congratulations.
Congratulations.
Have you done it?
And the next awardee is
someone whose role has made it possible for this event to be a success. Hence, the Institute deemed it necessary to honor her while they honor their visitors and friends. Ladies and gentlemen, Honorable Barrister Mrs. Okwuowulu Chedinma Genevieve, the Financial Secretary of ICMC Enugu Branch, the founder and CEO, Jenny Hen Foundation.
That's a good one. That's a good one.
This is given to you in recognition of your contribution to the development of mediation, peace building, and service to humanity. This day, 11 June 2025. Congratulations.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
This is one of the engine houses of this event. Thank you for your role. Ladies and gentlemen, let me invite Supol Chooks Odum, Commander Anti-Kidnap Special Squad, Enugu. Okay, the Justice Atta, very proactive lawyer in Enugu State.
This is in recognition of your contribution in pioneering a just society devoid of conflicts, rancor, and for your selfless service to Nigeria, to mankind. This day of 11 June 2025. Congratulations.
OC Legal.
Congratulations.
We are doing well. Thank you for coming.
Please, a round of applause.
Thank you, sir.
Milo, thank you so much for this. It's official function still.
Professor Felix Asogwa is going to be presenting an award to the chairman of Nkanu East Local Government, who also doubles as the Algon chairman in Enugu State. The recipients will be the Deputy Algon Chairman, Honorable Barrister Ugo Ferdinand, Chairman Igbeze South Local Government Area. Thank you.
Thank you. On behalf of the Institute of Chartered Mediators and Conciliators, ICMC, Enugu State Chapter, it is my honor to present to you a distinguished Golden Award of Excellence as presented to you, Honorable Sydney Okechukwu Ede, the Executive Chairman, Nkanu East Local Government, and Chairman, Argon, Enugu State. In recognition of your contribution in conflict resolution, selfless service to mankind, and in promoting a mediation-friendly administration. This day, 11 June 2025. Congratulations.
An applause, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you. Congratulations. The next awardee should be warming up.
Chirote Ogadinma Global Investment Limited. That's the last on our list. Do we have the representative? Okay, on that note.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you. On behalf of the Institute of Chartered Mediators and Conciliators, Icmc Enugu State Chapter, I present to you a distinguished Golden Award of Excellence presented to you, the CEO, Chirote Ogadinma Global Investment Limited, Enugu State, in recognition of your entrepreneurial development prowess, philanthropy, community development service to humanity. This day, 11 June 2025. Congratulations.
Congratulations. Congratulations. Congratulations. Icmc Enugu, you have done so well. Yes.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. All protocols observed. On behalf of Dr. Damian Chilota Odo, the Messiah One of Nansuka, I thank you, all of you. I thank this forum for organizing such a great occasion. On behalf of him, we are supporting the organization with 500,000. And we are also supporting this event with 500,000.
That's right. Put your hands together.
Please, thank you very much and remain blessed, all of you.
I think 500 plus 500 gives you 1 M. That's clap, not up to 300.
Thank you.
Thank you. Due respect to protocols, on behalf of Dr. Chukwu Emeka Eze, whom I'm representing today, who has also instructed that I should read his letter verbatim, because if I summarize, it's possible I might omit some very cogent components. To that extent, I'll read as instructed. Acceptance statement as recipient of distinguished Golden Award of Excellence by Institute for Chartered Mediators and Conciliators, June 12, 2025, Enugu State, Nigeria. Let me offer my sincerest apology for my inability to physically attend and receive this prestigious award you have honored me with today. I had all planned well, but last-minute exigencies of work could not allow me. Permit me, therefore, comrades, to present this acceptance speech through my teacher and mentor, Professor Felix Asogwa, Director, Institute for Peace, Conflict and Development Studies, Enugu State University of Science and Technology, Enugu State, Nigeria. Today, I am filled with a sense of profound gratitude and reflection. This award is a significant milestone, but it is also a moment to look back on the journey that brought me to our institute. As one of the founding members approximately 26 years ago, as a young graduate at the office of our founding president. It has been a path marked by persistent learning and a constant pursuit of improvement. There have been moments of doubt and guilt about my level of participation, especially given that I've been in diaspora for the past 16 years. But each has been a stepping stone to greater understanding of the true essence of our institute and the mythology of service through mediation, dialogue, and conciliation, and above all, what it means to have the privilege of building relationships. I want to express my deepest thanks to those who have been my mentors and guides, especially our founding president, His Excellency, Dr. Ozonia Ojelo, and my teachers at the ESUT and the University of Ibadan. Your wisdom and encouragement have been my compass in times of uncertainty. To my peers in the Institute, your work continues to inspire and challenge me to be better. And to my wife and son, your sacrifices have not gone unnoticed. Your support is the foundation of everything I am. This award is not the end, but rather a marker along a continuing journey. It is a reminder to keep striving, keep learning, keep pushing the boundaries of what is possible. Remember that Enugu, through me, will be leading our institute at the national level as the next president next year, as we work to do it together. Can't you even clap? The next president, and nobody's clapping.
Please clap. Please clap.
Thank you for this honor, and may we all continue to grow and excel in our endeavors. Finally, please know that I will be making a pottery donation to our Enugu branch through your branch chair and look forward to participating in your meetings. Thanks so much, Dr. Chukwu Emeka Eze. God bless you for listening.
Thank you, sir.
That's right.
Thank you for your time, the display of wisdom. Let me call the chairman of Nsukka local government to make acceptance speech. After that, Igboeze South. After that, the commissioner of police. Then we do vote of thanks.
The chairman, sir.
The chairman of this great occasion, and the noble lawyers and judges here, my colleagues, mayors here present. For want of time, I will wish to stand on already established protocol. I'm highly delighted that this institute honored me today. I am somebody that is not always tripped by awards, but for the fact that this award is coming from this institute, I felt so honored. Just last week or thereabout, I delivered a lecture in UNN where we discussed ethical leadership and development at the grassroots level. And I am here when the the person that delivered this lecture was speaking. I came shortly, but I connected through my friend. And I understand that the lecture is very, very important for our society. I want to thank the organizers, and I also want to thank His Excellency Barrister Peter Ndubi Simba for what he's doing for us at the state level. And going by the topic of this lecture, I think he is a great member of this institution, and I thank everybody. I'm going to communicate to the committee our own support from Nsukka local government. And I wish everybody well, and I thank you for honoring me. God bless you all.
Put your hands together. We thank the executive chairman of Nsukka local government.
If you are not educated, don't go into politics. In case you are called to make a speech in the gathering of the learned gentlemen, so that it wouldn't mess up, please put your hands together for the chairman.
That's right.
Let me call on a chairman who is a barrister. Barrister Honorable Ugo Ferdinand, chairman of Igbeze South local government.
The chairman that I know. The chairman that I know.
Former MBA chairman, Nsukka branch.
The chairman of this occasion, please permit me to rest on the protocol as earlier established. I want to, in a very special way, congratulate this organization for coming up with this successful annual event. For me, I feel that I've been brought back to the very home where I emerged from. So it is not strange to me. The issue of arbitration, mediation, conciliation, alternative dispute resolution, what it has brought our environment is a relief that ordinarily litigation cannot give us. I even understand the importance more now that I walk outside the courtroom on a daily basis, finding myself in an environment where I would have to mediate with persons of different localities, different exposures, and different backgrounds. So I am very happy being recognized as one of the awardees. I'm encouraged the more. And believe you me, we have been propelled to work for the society, to represent this organization. And
why the noise?
Extensively to represent the legal profession. When I get back home to Igbeze South local government area, where by the special grace of God I'm the chief steward, we will make our decision and then revert to this organization. You will be happy that we are awarded.
That's right.
Once again, thank you very much.
The chairman that I know, that's Barrister Ugo Ferdinand Ukweze. He was also former chairman of
Nigerian Bar
Association. Yes.
And
one of the
branches. Chairman of
Thank you, Chief Ugo.
Let me, at this point, invite for goodwill message before the vote of thanks. The Commissioner of Police, Enugu State Command, CP Maman Beatrice Gewa, ably represented by the most proactive Deputy Commissioner of Police, State CID, a detabrized DCP Umaru Muhammadu. Please put your hands together for him.
The chairman and the special guests and all members of the high table, as well as other distinguished guests. The Commissioner of Police, Beatrice Mamangia, will have been here, but because of exercises of office, he has asked me to represent him. Let me stand on the existing protocol established. Well, the lecture, in fact, is well researched and well presented. It's a take-home for everybody that is here. It is highly educative and highly informative. It will help us a lot
in dispute resolutions, business-wise, educationally, legally, and otherwise. And I pray that this lecture will be a continuous process so that it will help us in mitigating challenges, business-wise, that are occurring within the space and scope of business sectors. So I thank everybody for coming. I thank all the stake members, and I pray that everybody will take back home safely. Thank you.
DCP that is educated and intelligent. Thank you, sir. Please appreciate him. Appreciate him.
Thank you, the Commissioner
Thank you.
of Police.
The next in line is the vote of thanks. While we do vote of thanks, make sure you eat, because the institute's well prepared. The only thing we will not give you is alcohol, because we don't drink alcohol. Ladies and gentlemen, to pass the vote of thanks is the first Deputy Chairman, Icmc, Federal Republic of Nigeria, Mrs. Margaret Mwebo. Put your hands together for her.
The chairman, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, all protocols duly and respectfully observed. It has been truly a fantastic day. The lecture, I was not expecting any less from Ike Akariwe-san. Ike Akariwe, as I know him, was called to the bar 5 years after I was called to the bar. And I met him in practice as a very hardworking young man. Today, he showed what he is really made of. His lecture was fantastic, and as a wise silk, he typed it out and shared it for us, and then spoke to his paper. He did not bore the audience, but highlighted the essential points while giving us a hard copy to go home with. Anya Fuludis Esquire, rounded up by a very fantastic delivery. There has been so much today. I'm sure we are all taking home a lot to remember. ICMC is truly the one and only mediation house in West Africa and the whole of Africa. I'm a past national vice president, past, under Emeka Begulu, and I was the second chairman of Enugu branch. I took over from Akariwe. I am truly, truly, truly proud of the present executive. They are doing an excellent job. I would like to commend them and spur them on to greater heights. Thank you so much for attending this occasion. The executive chairman that came, the commissioners, my lords who all attended, thank you so much. For many a times we prepare, but we don't have an audience. But today we called out and you all came. Thank you so much. I wish you safe journey back to all your homes. God bless you all. Thank you.
Thank you. Please, before the national anthem, there's a leaflet passed to your table. If you want to show humanitarian service by supporting the Institute with a token, it's there on the official account of the Institute. Membership is also open, as I've formally announced. There's no gainsaying that you can never stop networking in whatever you do, because sometimes the thing you take so common might be your savior and the umbilical cord to your success as a human being. Ladies and gentlemen, we've come to the end of the event. It is now time to close with national anthem. If you don't trust your neighbor, hold your phone while you are standing up. But if you do, you can feel relaxed. DJ, if you're ready, I am ready. Thank you so much, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Monde Diamond. They call me Odozi Obodo, your official host. Thank you for coming to be part of us. Thank you. Please, group photograph for record purpose.